Okay, so I want to just explain a little bit about some of the things I've seen in the YTBC. I've heard circulated that we need to respect other people's opinions. Now, I have something to say on that. As you know, I'm a Floyd Mayweather Jr. fan, and I'm going to use him as an example of some of the things I'm talking about right now on this point. You see, I can respect other people's opinions, but when they are educated on something or they've seen the facts on something, that will not change. And after seeing the facts, they still speak as if those facts don't matter. That's when I have a problem with such people, and I will block them. If we know that gravity allows us to stay on the ground, that's a fact. And somebody else comes and says, no, gravity allows us to float in the air. Shall we respect that person's opinion and believe them and follow them? No, of course we don't. That opinion is a stupid one. You must be able to discriminate between someone who has an opinion and they don't know any better, and someone who has an opinion in spite of knowing better and decide to hold fast to that opinion for whatever reason that they have. I will not tolerate stupidity. And I am going to give you my understanding of stupidity. I don't think that someone who's ignorant of something is stupid. Someone can make a statement and they're ignorant of information, and so they make their statements. There's nothing stupid with that. But there's something extremely stupid about someone who, in the face of knowing all the information about something, decides, knowing that they're wrong, that they will continue with the opinion that they had to begin with because of emotion or their repugnance towards a thing or an individual. And now I will use Floyd Mayweather Jr. as an example. I was having a discussion with someone online, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. had just weighed in the mandatory 30-day weigh-in by the WBC for the Mayweather-Andre Berto fight. And basically the argument by this person was that Floyd Mayweather weighs 160 pounds because he can't come down in weight to 147 pounds. It's taking him much longer than he usually did before. Let's look at the facts on that, shall we? Here is, from BoxingScene.com, Floyd Mayweather's weigh-in versus Robert Guerrero 30 days before their fight. If you look here, you will see that Floyd Mayweather Jr. weighed 148.2 pounds. But I also want you to look at what Robert the Ghost Guerrero weighed. He weighed in at 159 pounds during that 30-day weight check. It's a mandatory 30-day weight check. This, of course, is a mandatory weigh-in supervised by the WBC. Here's his next fight he had that year. That's 2013. Floyd Mayweather Jr. weighed in against Canelo Alvarez, 30-day mandatory weigh-in, and he weighs 150.3 pounds. Canelo Alvarez weighs in at 166.8 pounds. Remember, this is for the 152-pound catch weight for the super welterweight bout. In his next fight, which was against Marcos Maidana, the first fight, and we know that because you see here, unification on May 3rd. The first fight was May 3rd, the second fight was September. Floyd Mayweather Jr. weighs in at 149.8 pounds. Marcos Maidana comes in at 158 pounds. Let's move on. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Their 30-day weigh-in weight. Floyd Mayweather Jr. weighs in at 150.5 pounds. You can see it on the scale. There is no word on Pacquiao's 30-day weight. Andre Berto. You can see both weights right in front of you. Floyd Mayweather Jr. weighed in on the scale at 149.8 pounds. Andre Berto weighed in at 155 pounds. Now, if Floyd Mayweather Jr., just based on this information so far, if he weighed 160 pounds, wouldn't he be somewhere around 150 something pounds at the 30-day weigh-in? He wouldn't be so drastically lower. Because at 30 days in, this is somewhat the weight that these guys walk around at. Berto weighs in at 155 pounds. Means he walks around somewhere around 155, 157. Canelo Alvarez and Marcos Maidana around 158 pounds. Marcos Maidana. Canelo Alvarez around 167 pounds. Guerrero around 159 pounds. If he was 160 pounds, he would be somewhere weighing what these guys weigh. Not 148.2. Here's another thing. Versus Maidana, he weighed 149.8 pounds. Versus Berto, 149.8 pounds. If you're arguing that he's getting older, and therefore it's harder for him to lose weight, why is it he's losing weight like he did 2 years before in 2013? 1 year before, as in 2014. So, in light of this information, and I provided all this information to the gentleman, in light of all this information, how can you go ahead and still continue to say that he weighs and walks around at 160 pounds? Then you are given other information that is well known, that Mayweather stays in shape so he doesn't have to be in shape. Which is why I believe he walks around at 150 pounds. I even did a video on here about him. And you can use the eye test and see he's not much different to when he was younger. So if you hold fast to the fact that he weighs 160 pounds, and I know there's an agenda behind that. The whole point is he beat Manny Pacquiao very easily. People say that Alex Ariza is helping him to put on more muscle and bulk. And so people imagine in their minds that he's much bigger than he really is. And then on top of that, they want him to fight Gennady Golovkin. So they're saying, you know, Floyd is a cheat, he's a liar. He really weighs 160 pounds, and it's really a lie that he's talking about. In the face of facts, they're saying these things. Because they want him to fight Golovkin. And I really don't care if he fights Golovkin or he doesn't fight Golovkin. What I am saying is, you do not change reality to make your argument correct. You don't say that the world is square so that you can argue and be correct. That's stupid. And it's that level of stupidity I do not respect. And I will block you. I will block you every time you say something that is contrary to facts. A person who in the face of fact ignores it and creates their own reality is a dangerous person, because they will do whatever it takes and even skew truth and live in falsehood to have their way. And I don't want to be around such people. I will block you, especially if you're an intelligent person and know better. I will block you. I don't want anything to do with you. You're dangerous. I will not respect opinions of people who continue in stupidity. I'm not going to respect that. I will block it. I don't want that mess in my life. Too much drama, they say, in my life, according to that lady who sang the song. I forgot what her name is. I don't need that drama. Now, if I'm arguing with you and you're right, and you're right based on fact, I will acknowledge you. I'm not one of those people who continues in fallacy and falsehood. I am interested in truth. And somebody who says the truth, irregardless of how I feel about it, I will acknowledge it and I will accept it because I respect it. Not every opinion is to be respected in this world. If the opinion is a stupid opinion, in the face of facts, it's not to be respected. It is to be blocked and removed. You can say whatever you want to say, but you will not say it around me. Okay? Not every opinion on the YTBC deserves respect. Not every opinion. Every opinion can be listened to, but I don't have to respect it. I can leave. I don't have to be around that opinion. Respect is something that is earned. Just as how my opinions must be respected by me respecting other people, and I earn the respect. But I will not abide in an environment where there is stupidity. I just will not do it. Nonsensical stuff, I'm not into that. When all logic and reasoning is gone, then you have just a crazy, laissez-faire, anything goes. I'm not into that. I'm into something where you're speaking based on some sort of information and facts. If it's just opinions and fandom and fanaticism, I'm not into that. I'm a fan. I can get fanatical about things, but there's a point at which it must be grounded in some sort of fact. And I will listen to someone who is making good reasoning and good sense, and they have facts, which they back their sense up with. And I will acknowledge it. I will not try and argue a fact. If it's a fact, I'm not arguing that. Okay? It's not debatable. You guys have a great one.